You know how we coming back to step it up another level. It's time to show them how we turn up on another level. You know how we do it, how we do it, where we going, where we going. Talk no race the ball, we here to let them know. Like that.
What's Trending is presented by BYU Food to Go, the MVP of your next event. BYU Football adds Colorado's leading rusher, Deion Smith, to the running back room. What kind of player is he? How does the running back room look now? And did BYU upgrade from last year? We'll discuss all three of those, but let's start with who Deion Smith is as a player, and what do you think, Shep?
I like him as a player. He was Colorado's leading rusher last year. Didn't put up huge numbers at Colorado, but I like the fact that he was the team's leading rusher. He knows what it's like to be the guy that leads a running back room. Now, obviously, I don't think he comes in with that type of goal here at BYU. I think that's going to fall to Aiden Robbins. But I do like, and quite frankly, this was not, and we had sort of talked about this last week when Dave and I were talking about the wide receivers. Now, BYU's brought in several wide receivers. I didn't necessarily look at the wide receiver room as like something that really needed to be upgraded significantly. So this, to me, it was like, wow, you're getting this type of talent to come into a group that I thought was pretty good going in. Certainly didn't have a go-to guy, but I certainly liked it. Kind of look at it the same way with the running back. Once you had Aiden Robbins in, and knowing what you have behind him, which we'll get into in a second, I really liked what BYU had on the ground. Then to bring in a guy like Deion from Colorado, not that one, Coach Prime is what he likes to be called. I like adding that type of talent to this group.
Yeah, it's good to have him. 6 foot 190 from Houston, 34 career games. He has 1 year of eligibility. He's been in the fight. He's played Power 5 football, right? Not massive career numbers, 653 yards, 4 touchdowns. Has 20 grabs for 133 as well. Last year had a great game against Arizona State, 24 carries, 111 yards. I like that. Coming out of high school, pretty good. Number 52 running back in the country, 10-6 guy in the 100, so he's got some speed. He's one of the more experienced guys in the room, which is good. You got Aiden Robbins, 4th-year player in college. Has played, 2 years at Louisville, the 1 year at UNLV. Deion Smith, Hinckley Ropati, Miles Davis. All these guys are 4th or 5th-year guys. And then, of course, LJ Martin is a top 300 guy nationally. We're excited about. So that's good. Running back, I felt like needed one more piece. I want to say like 4 or 5 weeks ago, I was like, I still would like one more experienced guy there. Because Hinckley Ropati and Miles Davis have shown flashes of brilliance. Certainly Miles Davis' game against Wyoming was awesome. Hinckley Ropati showed us some real presence in the screen game specifically, especially against Boise State, like you mentioned. But having another guy who you can be like, listen, if we're struggling, and listen, Aiden Robbins is a big dude, 6'3", 230. There's going to be moments where he's going to get some tough yards. There will be moments where on 1st and 10, he's getting 7 yards. But it's nice to have a change of pace guy and a guy who's been experienced and in Power 5 football. You need that. BYU is encountering a challenge it has never had. Therefore, it needs more depth at positions where maybe you thought, we're good. But it's like you can always add guys like we've seen at receiver, obviously. At offensive line, I feel like BYU's added probably more guys than maybe they need. But you just don't know what it's going to be like in terms of injuries and or ineptitude at certain positions with certain people. So I like this because this group now looks more experienced and more interesting. Yet, in Power 5 football, there's not a guy that is proven to do a ton. So they will get that opportunity. Aiden Robbins didn't really play at Louisville. Deion Smith, yes, was the leading rusher, but hasn't had a 500-yard season, for example. I think the hope is that Aiden Robbins can approximate 1,000, and then these other guys can be several 100-yard guys. I think Deion Smith, you probably pencil him in right now as the number 2.
Yeah.
That will play itself out in fall camp, certainly. And then you can bring LJ Martin along, which he could be the back of the future. We'll see.
Look, I'm going in, and I'm going to assume Aiden Robbins is also expecting to be at least a 1,000-yard rusher. I'm going into this season. We know how talented this guy is. We saw what he did at UNLV last year. I think coming to BYU and playing behind this offensive line, I love what BYU's done on the offensive line. I think, obviously, it goes hand in hand with your running backs because, obviously, those two have to work in tandem for both to be successful. I love the idea of Aiden Robbins running behind this offensive line. And so I'm going in 1,000 yards, absolutely. That's what I expect from this guy because we know, number one, he can do it, but I love his talent. His size and what he can do, watching the highlights of him and his speed at that size, that's what makes it so fun to think about what he could do in this offense.
He's a big dude, and he's going to get a chance to run against some big dudes, too, in the Big 12. So let me ask you this, which is our question of the day. Has BYU upgraded the running back room from last year?
It's always so difficult to answer that.
No, declare on May 3rd.
I'm going to say right now, gut reaction says, yeah, I think they did.
Why is that?
When I look back at last year's running game, and you put out a tweet earlier today that I think
I'll talk about it
pretty much encapsulates kind of what I thought. You don't look at last year's, when you immediately think of last year's running game, you don't necessarily think, wow, what a great ground game BYU had. But then when you look at the numbers, especially the yards per carry,
they were better than you
think.
They
were better than you think. But I still look at the production that the other players, Robbins had, and again, bringing in Deion Smith. I do like what Hinckley showed, and you know, the others, Miles Davis. We know what he can do. It's a matter of staying healthy. Yeah, matter of staying healthy.
Yep.
I think if you're just going off of what we've seen from previous production, coming here in sort of forecasting that they can do better here than maybe at their previous place, then yeah, I think they probably upgraded.
Yeah, it's interesting because our stat of the day sort of illustrates it a little bit. Here we go.
It's the BYU Sports Nation stat of the day.
So BYU's top two rushers last year with Chris Brooks and Lopini Katoa. They're both gone, graduated. They combined for 1,149 yards, 5.35 per carry. The top two guys, we think, in terms of experience and production that come in, Aiden Robbins from UNLV, Deion Smith from Colorado, combined for 1,404 yards, 6.5 yards per carry. So you can't just look at that number and say, hey, they got better. But it's also the idea that you added the experience of Ropati and Davis. You add a top 300 kid at running back. When's the last time BYU brought in that kind of talent out of high school in L.J. Martin? You got, Helo Nukuluve off a mission. Soldier Maiava Peters is this intriguing utility piece.
He can be used in so many different ways.
In spring, they were using him in a unique amount of ways. He can show up at quarterback suddenly. Yeah, it's hard to know exactly, but I think in terms of overall talent, I would say yes. Like Aiden Robbins comes in having rushed for 1,000 yards somewhere, which is good. And to the tweet I put out this morning, minimum 100 carries in a season in BYU history. Only 7 dudes have averaged 6 yards or more. Chris Brooks did that last year. Like I think he had a better year than we think. Did he struggle in third and fourth and short at times? Yes. Yeah. But overall, 6.3 a carry is incredible. I mean, you're talking about Pete Van Valkenburg, who led the country in rushing in 72. Casey Tiamalu, was better than you think in 82 and 83. Chris Brooks is there. Then it's Tyler Algier in 2020 and Luke Staley's Doak Walker Award-winning 2001. It was better than we thought.
I also think this upcoming season you will need to rely on the running backs more because you are not going to have a quarterback in Keaton Slovis that can run like we've seen Jaron Hall and Zach Wilson be able to do. I'm not saying he can't run or that he's not mobile, but I think
he'll run less than
I think he will. I don't think they will have him in as many running situations as we saw. And granted, even last year, Jaron wasn't in a ton of running situations based off of maybe what we expected going into the season. Plus, I also think they wanted him to be able to showcase what he could do with his arm for the NFL.
Yes. Aaron Roderick, in not-so-settled terms, and Kelly Popenga said in spring, hey, Keaton's a better runner than you think.
He is, yes.
But I agree they're not going to run as much as Zach and Jaron did.